Alrighty guys, we're going to do motor mounts on my '09 Audi A4. I have no idea what the sensor's for. I'm not even going to pretend to wonder what that's all about. There's a doodle right there. It's got some kind of resistor in there and connected to the metal part. I don't know. Is there a code for that goes off that says your motor mounts are broken? I don't have Badgecom, so who knows. Anyway, another day that I'm happy for the new lift. So wheels come off, rear bottom covers come off, and I think you have to take this inner liner pretty much loose because there's some bolts that have to get loose there. So this motor mount component goes in something like this, I think, or sorry, something like that. It's a two-piece part, so the other one goes, the bolt goes through here and it connects and to the part that's mounted on the engine. So this is the part that's mounted on the frame. So yeah, anyway, just gonna go through it. It's pretty straightforward, I believe. I'm hoping I can get it done before my wife has to go to work tomorrow. If not, she'll take another car. Anyway, look, it's up on a lift. Yay! That's about as high as I can go without hitting the roof on the door opener thing. I could go another foot higher if I had a different door opener, but this is fine. It lets me get in here. I can work, you know, at normal height. This is about me this is me standing up, so I work at normal height for most of this stuff, and then for getting underneath, I can sit on a buggy or something. Anyway, it's raining outside. That's why the floor's all wet. All right, let's get on it. All right, guys, I got the inner fender off. It's pretty obvious. There's some screws that come out. I took this whole support structure off down here because it makes it easier to bend. There's a little plug-in thing right there. There's a 10mm doodle right here. This is, sorry, this guy, I can get this, there's staples here, here, and here. There's 3 of them. And all I did was use a pick, straighten them out, and then pull them out. You can see, it's freaking messy, but you can see them right there. So I'll probably just leave those off. I don't know. I'm not sure how I'll put them back. But this one tucks up underneath and then staples too. So probably needs some kind of staple device. And then there's a clip. There's a bunch of little clips that, you know, hit on these things. Oh, that one's broken. I didn't realize I was that rough with it. It's plastic though. Anyway, yeah, I got those off. So now you can see the 3 screws. This holds the motor mount to the frame. And that bolt in there, I think it's a triple square, it looks like a 14, is what holds the motor mount to the engine. There's another bracket that connects to the engine. I notice this has a 4 and a 6 and a 4 and a 6, and we're both in 4. This is a 4-cylinder, so I'm going to assume if you have a 6-cylinder, it might be in those holes. Anyway, so my next step is I've got the bottom cover off here, and I've got a support, so I'll support the motor probably from that, I don't know what that is, air conditioner maybe, just to lift it up a little bit. And then there's 2 more bolts right here, takes this cover off. Then there's a connector right here that goes to that sensor. Should be about it. Oh, we'll see. I'll let you know of any struggles. All right, so this is the driver's side, and you can see it's squared off here. The passenger side has got a groove cut. I don't know if you can see that. Like it's see, there's a big bulge here and there's no bulge here. So maybe they're the same. Maybe if I flip them over, they're the same. Who knows? They look exactly the same. Ah, they are. They got the same number right here, BWF 1-8. Yeah, the same number, so maybe I just had this one upside down. All right, well, there you have it. I'm gonna go ahead and put this guy in then. Oh, so I got it out. It was relatively simple. This bolt, the center one, this guy is a, I don't know if you can see that, but it's a 14 millimeter, and it was in there pretty snugly. I had to get out the breaker bar. These guys were, what, 17s, I think, and this was a 10 or 8. Where's that tool at? I'll find it and tell you. That was an M8. So that's all that held it in. Now, we did run into one small problem. I don't know if you can see up in there. See this cover? On the back side of that cover, there's a bracket with a 10 millimeter nut on it, which I lost, of course, taking it off. Oh, there it is. Now, all that, I wasn't able to get that bracket off because it's got a metal ring, a metal clamp, not a clamp. It's like a hanger that this kind of sets in, this hose, to keep it from vibrating, and I couldn't get it off because of the amount of room I did not have to work with. So I'll get the new motor mount in and then put this guy back on. But it didn't need to be taken off because it helped it be loose so I can manipulate the motor mount out without taking a whole bunch of stuff off. So it was relatively simple. Took this connector off. I did take this connector off. I think it's air conditioner, I'm not sure. But I just took it off just so that I have more clearance right in here. This hose is power steering, I think, and it pushes aside and allows you to get your motor mount in. Anyway, oh, now let's go with the backwards side. I don't know if this is too terribly broken or not. It doesn't look like it. This might not have been the broken. Oh, there it is. Yeah, see, it's got a pretty good rip right there. Hard to see, but yep. Anyway, we'll get it in and update. So hopefully you can see this, but up there where my socket is that where that socket goes, that nut, and it just made it easier to manipulate. That's all. Alrighty guys, no great surprises. Old one's out, new one's in. Like I said, this was the hardest part was getting this thing out, in and out easily, to be honest with you. So that bolt right in there, I don't know if that's, yeah, you can see it there. That is a M14, and I put it in pretty tight because it came out pretty tight. These guys snugged up. I didn't tighten any bolts until I had them all started by hand. That's super critical, especially with something like this. Take some line. Those two guys went in loose and then held everything lined up. I used the lift to lift up and down until I could get everything lined up and in. I got my doodle plugged in here. Both of my plug-ins. I unplugged that. That goes to the motor mount. That goes to, I think, the air conditioner. And then the bolt. I don't know if you can see it up in there or not. I don't know if you see that or not. That's that bolt, that nut back there has a little round bracket on it. Hard to tell. Anyway, it's got that bracket on it. And just take that nut off, and it never came off the stud. So I don't know. I hope that worked. Anyway, take that nut off. It never came off the stud, but it made it loose enough so it would swivel, and I could slide it up and down the power steering hose. And yeah, so now we'll put the inner fender back on, and then the wheel, and we'll be good to go. Like I said, no real surprises. Just get in there and do it. The only specialty tool might be this guy. This is the M14. Because the typical kits, where's mine, like this, you get it at AutoZone or wherever, only goes to 12. So you'll need to get to 14. That's about it. Alrighty guys, on to the passenger side. Passenger side, getting the inner fender out was exactly the same, except for I was missing that clip. You can see it's clean. Well, everything over on this side went the same as the other side. There was a nut here that held this bracket on, which allowed you to manipulate the this cable to get the motor mount out. Here it is. Pretty straightforward. But as with everything, some things always happen to go bad. So if you remember these guys, these little guys are the bolts that go right here. And you can see it's kind of rusted. This one, somebody had already tried to get out, and it was stripped, and I couldn't do anything. So I tried to weld a nut to it. It didn't work. It was just being stubborn-headed, so I welded my tool to it. Thankfully, I have a couple extras, and now I'm actually just going to cut this off and leave it on there. But I'll put the new motor mount in, get this whacked off, get her back together. All right. And just like that, it's all back together. The ground bolts, connectors, everything. You see the doodle left there. But it is what it is. So I'm gonna go ahead and put the covers on and the wheels back on, and we'll be done.